Let us now have a look at the standard WM processes. Before that, we need to understand a few WM terminologies that you would be coming across whenever you are dealing with SAP WM. So let us understand some important new terms that we will be seeing with the introduction of SAP WM. The first and foremost is the stock category and stock status in WM. So what is a stock category? Stock category basically is the status of the stock located in the warehouse. Stock in the warehouse is categorized in WM as follows: available stock, inspection stock, block stock returns. Let us see each of these stock categories in detail. So what is available stock? The available stock is the unrestricted use stock that is physically located in warehouse. This stock is available for picking. This is valuated. There are no usage restrictions. All the possible stock movements can be carried out with such a stock. So this is available stock. Next we have the inspection stock. This is the stock in quality inspection or the Q stock. The characteristics for these are that this stock is valuated. That means it has inventory implications. It is counted in your inventory. This stock is not counted as unrestricted use stock, meaning this stock is not picked for a delivery. This stock carries the Q indicator to indicate that this is in QI, or quality inspection. Let us see what is a block stock. Stock could be blocked, for example, for various reasons like damage, non-conformance to specs and other reasons. You can block stock whenever it is come from a vendor and you are doing a goods receipt. If you find it doesn't conform to the specifications, you can also block stock when it is already received and it is not conforming to specifications, so for any other reason. So the characteristics are that it is valuated, it is counted in your inventory. This does not count as unrestricted use stock, meaning this is not picked for any deliveries. The stock is designated with S, with the symbol S in WM. What are block stock returns? And these are the goods returned by the customer. So whenever the customer returns you stock with a return delivery, they come into your warehouse, they are not valuated, they are not counted as unrestricted use stock, and this stock is designated with R, symbol R in WM. So these are the stock categories. So what are the stock status? So there are three types of stock status in WM. One is the available stock or the total stock. One is the stock for put away, and the last is the stock for picking or the pick quantity. After having an idea of the stock category and the stock statuses, we have some important new documents that would come into picture in SAP WM. Let us see what are they. We have something called the transfer requirement. Transfer requirement or a TR is created in order to plan a stock movement. The TR indicates a need to move a specific quantity of a material into the warehouse for stock placement or to move a quantity out of the warehouse for stock removal. Next we have a document called the post change notice. A posting change refers to a change in information about a particular material. For example, when releasing the stock from inspection. For most posting changes, the goods themselves remain in the same location and no physical stock transfer takes place. Posting change notice or PCN is similar to transfer requirement in terms of subsequent process. So whenever you do a post change or you change the status of the stock from queue to unrestricted or from unrestricted to queue or to block, a document called PCN is generated in the warehouse. So when a PCN is generated, the stock physically does not change bins. It will remain in the same bin, only the status of the stock is updated. Transfer order. A transfer order is a move order. The transfer order document is used to physically place the goods into storage. The transfer quantity remains unavailable in the warehouse as long as the stock placement is not confirmed in the system. Also, it is important to note that every transfer order will have a preceding document which could either be a transfer requirement or a PCN. The only case when a transfer order does not have preceding document is when you manually create a transfer order using a warehouse supervisor movement, which is 999. Let us now see a basic goods receipt process in a warehouse. A goods receipt process starts with doing a goods receipt transaction, which could be a MIGO. At an IM level, when you do a goods receipt transaction, the goods are received in a goods receiving area. From the goods receiving area, it needs to be further put away in the bin. So this is an additional step that needs to be done. So this is how the goods receipt process happens. So when goods are received, they are usually transferred first to the goods receipt area. Goods receipt process within the system. So what happens at an IM level and a WM level? So at an IM level, a material document is created to represent the movement of goods into the warehouse. An accounting document is also created to represent the change in the value of goods in the warehouse. And what happens at the WM level? A quant is created in the goods receipt area to represent the existing of goods now in the warehouse. Simultaneously, a transfer requirement is created since the goods must be transferred by the means of a transfer order to a storage area within the warehouse. So this is the process for stock placement. So you have done a goods receipt. It has created a quant and a transfer requirement at the WM level. We have to process this transfer requirement and convert it into a transfer order. This transfer order gets all the information from the transfer requirement, and additionally this transfer order during the process of creation would find the relevant bin for that material. Using the search strategy you have defined for your warehouse, the warehouse user then uses this transfer order for putting away the material into. After this, the transfer order is confirmed in the system. In case there is any difference in the quantity that is noticed by the user while putting away the goods, you can always confirm with the differences, meaning you can mention that you have found some quantity less, and this quantity that you confirm with difference will go into the differences storage type, which would have to be later on cleared. So let us see the granular process for stock placement. The goods receipt is entered in the inventory management system. This creates a material document in IM, an accounting document in IM. It creates a quant in the goods receiving area in WM, and it creates a transfer requirement in WM. Second, a transfer order is created based on the transfer requirement. Then the goods become available upon confirmation of transfer order. Also, any differences noted at put away are entered at this time. The differences, if any, are moved to a storage type for differences, and when cleared in IM, a material document is again created for that different quantity, and an accounting document is also created. There are opportunities for automation at various points throughout the process. So let us see the steps for stock placement, how it happens or how it is done. So when goods are delivered, the goods receipt is entered in the inventory management system. On the basis of the goods receipt posting, a transfer requirement and a quant is generated at the GR area. To place the goods in storage, a transfer order is created on the basis of transfer requirement. When the transfer order is created, the system determines the destination storage bin. The transfer order documents are used to physically place the goods into storage. The transfer quantity remains unavailable in the warehouse as long as the stock placement is not confirmed in the system. So, when a transfer order is created, you can print the transfer order and use it as a put away list. Similarly, whenever you are doing a picking, you can print all the transfer orders and use them as a picking list. So the transfer order gives you the source bin and the destination bin, which is used by the warehouse users to put away the material or pick the material. As soon as the physical stock placement has taken place, you confirm the transfer order and also enter the differences if there are any. And depending upon the system setup, it is possible for the system to create transfer orders automatically in the background. It depends on the business whether they would want to automate a particular process and create transfer orders or also confirm them in the background, or they would want a manual process to create a transfer order and manually separate confirmation step. It is completely left to the business to decide how they want to do it, but automation is possible. Let us now briefly have a look at the WM interface with other modules. As we can see, WM integrates with different modules like SD, inventory management, PP, QM, and also WM has a functionality called the RF, which enables it to integrate with the remote data processing functionality. So, for SD or PP or IM, let us see how exactly the process happens. So for WM IM interface, most activities that take place within WM are initiated in inventory management. For example, most goods receipts, goods issue, and posting changes are initiated in IM and subsequently processed in WM. So if you have a purchase order, the second step would be a goods receipt, which will trigger a transfer request. This transfer request is processed into a transfer order, and finally we do a transfer order confirmation. For WM interface with SD, the process of meeting the requirements of a delivery are done at a warehouse level. So you have a stock transport order, for example, or you may have any order which would lead to an outbound delivery in SD. Once you have an outbound delivery, you will have to create a transfer order for that delivery. The transfer order has to be picked. After picking, the TO has to be confirmed, and then you finally do a PGI. Once you do a PGI, the goods go out of the warehouse. Till you do a TO confirmation, the goods stay in the warehouse in the interim storage type 916. Next, we have the WM-QM interface. Now, the QM interface allows warehouse administrators to track and manage inspection lots that are stored in the warehouse. We need to activate the QM part, but the WM-QM interface is possible to set up. Then we have the WM-PP interface. This assists in providing material to supply areas in production. So we have the child components that are stocked in the warehouse, and we want to produce a parent component. So we have a production order for the parent component. The parent component production order is released. This triggers a material staging transfer requirement. Material staging is the staging the child components into a production supply area. So once this transfer requirement is created, it is converted into till the child components are picked on the basis of this transfer order, and the transfer order is confirmed. Once the transfer order is confirmed, the child components are available in the production supply area for taking on the production line to produce the final finished goods assembly. Once we have the finished goods assembled, then we can actually do a production order confirmation, which would trigger a goods receipt for the final finished product. So this is how the WM-PP interface works. So with this, we have seen the SAP WM overview, its advantages, the org structure, WM terminologies, the documents, its interface with other modules.